Today is March 8th, which is International Women's Day. So I thought, what better time to bring in my first female guest on the show this week. Approximately 5% of the construction trades are represented by women. This is an abysmal number. Thankfully, we are seeing women enter the trades in unprecedented numbers. And the best part about this, these women currently entering the trades are going to act as mentors and influencers for other young women considering the trades moving forward. So, let's talk about it. My guest today participated in the OEA program while attending St. Thomas Aquinas High School. She's now 19 years old, a second-term apprentice, and has had a few public speaking gigs. An up-and-coming advocate and trailblazer, I'd like to welcome to the show today, Mazie Reuter.
Thank you for having me.
Question 1. Out of 144 skilled trades, Mazie, you chose the career of an electrician. What was it about this field that caught your attention?
Well, I had a bunch of options going through my mind when, the kind of time came around to pick what I wanted to do with my life, I guess. Originally I wanted to be a mechanic, and then my parents were kind of like, hey, look into electrical. Like, we think you'd be really good in this trade. And I looked into it and realized all the options that I had that I could do with it. Like, I could do a million and one things with the electrical license, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do this instead. And then it just kind of took off, and still doing it now.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
And do you like it? You like it so far,
I
obviously?
love it so far, yeah. I think it's great.
That's amazing.
It's fantastic.
What does a typical day at Barnes Electric look like for you?
Well, we do commercial buildings for the most part. So, I don't know, every day can kind of be different. It varies on what tasks I need to be doing. Right now I'm in an apartment building, like a new build apartment building. I'm doing the fire alarm right now, so I'm trying to figure out how the fire alarm works, how everything is connected with the fire alarm. So I'm running conduit, armor cable, just throughout all the floors and making sure it's all connected and it'll all run correctly. Things that I've done, I've helped set up an entire electrical room, which is really cool. So I installed like the really big switch gears, mounted like huge panels to the walls, and got those all prepped for wires and everything, which is really neat. But it kind of varies on a day-to-day basis. But the main things are like running EMT conduit or like pulling wire as well. But it does kind of vary, just like kind of at what stage the building's at. Right. But those are kind of the main things that I do. Question 3. Have you ever felt out of place as a woman in trades? Or is any uncertainty that you have directly due to you feeling like you're the new kid on the block? I've never felt out of place personally. All the people that I've worked with or been surrounded with have actually been very, very supportive and have been very interested as to like why I'm on the job site and how I kind of chose to do what I'm doing at the moment. But everyone's like always there to support me and help me and have never made me feel out of place. So that's kind of the best answer I can give, because I've never struggled with anything. Everyone's just been super happy to see me there and help me out and watch me kind of go through the trades, I guess. That's pretty amazing, because I still to this day feel out of place. Do you? Yeah. I'm put in positions all the time where it just there's a level of confidence, I guess, sometimes that it comes over time, right? 100%,
But yeah. Question 4. Let's talk about first term trade school. It's an 8-week grind. I think anybody that's been to trade school knows that. How did you adapt to it, and what was the most exciting part about school? Going into trade school is pretty straightforward, to be honest. There's a lot more responsibility than high school, because I went from like straight to high school to trade school. All the responsibility is on you. Like normally in high school, teachers are kind of ensuring that like you are learning what they're teaching. But like when you go to trade school, like the teachers are like, hey, I'm teaching you. It's your job to understand it. And they're there to help you, but like they're not watching your every move to make sure you're learning it. So like it's on you to learn it, which I also like, because it's a lot more freedom. And like, I don't know, the teachers aren't so down your back about everything. But it's just, that's easier for me to just be like, okay, take a step back and be like, okay, I can kind of figure it out, if that makes sense. No,
Like,
for sure it does.
that's what I liked about it. It's just that I had more freedom, and teachers weren't so there.
It's true. It's when you go to trade school, it's a totally different dynamic
Oh,
altogether
100%.
because you're not being babysat anymore at
No,
that point, right?
like it's all on you.
Yeah,
And I think that's pretty cool, and I liked that a lot.
that's awesome. You don't hear a lot of people that say coming out of trade school that I love trade school, but
Yeah,
it's good to hear that someone did.
Yeah, it's different. I liked it.
Yeah.
I did like it a lot.
What I made here today, because every episode I make something,
Yeah.
and today I made some homemade chicken fingers,
Okay,
and I have 3 sauces that I made this morning.
sounds good.
One is I think the one on your side right here is a standard it's a whiskey barbecue sauce.
Okay.
The second one is a buffalo sauce, and the third one is a raspberry barbecue sauce.
Okay.
So they're all a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
No, I really like it, actually.
We often talk about stereotypes when it comes to women in skilled trades, and I think we know the stigmas and stereotypes are alive and well, and it's something that we're combating right now.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if you've heard any stereotypes about men in trades that might have been wrong.
Yeah, I think there's one that I can definitely think of. I feel like some people look at men in the trades as maybe that was their last resort. Like they maybe didn't have the grades for like university or college, so they went into the trades as like a last resort to have a career and a future. And I don't, or as well as maybe they're not like, I don't want to say not smart, but like hopefully you understand what I mean. And I think just from my personal experience, that's like the total opposite. Like everybody I work with, like doesn't matter what trade it is, like they all seem like very intelligent people, and like you have to be intelligent to work in the trades. And I think people kind of overlook that aspect of it, almost just from not being in the trades. But like if you're in the trades, you understand like you got to be smart to kind of figure all that stuff out, to read the blueprints and like all that kind of stuff, like all your measurements, and a bunch of stuff like that. So I think that's a really big stereotype that for men, because if I tell people I'm in the trades, they're like, oh, you're so smart for that. Like people think like, oh, like you're smart, like you know your stuff. But I think maybe a guy would have a different stereotype necessarily than mine. And I think that's not true. That stereotype isn't true at all.
It's definitely one of the stereotypes that is out there about trades as a whole, and especially men in trades. Those are for the bad kids, the kids at the back of the class that struggled. And
and I don't think that's it at all.
I agree with you 100%. I think you do. It doesn't matter, man or woman. You have to be extremely intelligent to succeed in these trades, right?
You 100% do, yeah.
So it's nice to see that you're seeing that from your point of view as well. Question 6: we need to regender the trades. As it stands, it's predominantly male. It's predominantly a male trade as it is right now, with about 5% of the trades being in women. What more could be done, in your opinion, to encourage more women to join the trades?
I think high schools actually have a big role in this, because when I was in high school, I rarely heard about the trades. Like they talked about it a little bit, but they like really pushed like university and college, and it wasn't until I was actually like, oh, I'm going into the trades, that then like a bunch of options opened up to me. So I think high schools maybe have to kind of like start talking about the trades more, like maybe having more tradesmen, like past tradesmen that say went to that specific high school, come in and be like, hey, this is what I did, like you should do it too. Just really pushing the trades as a huge option as well, because I think it's a great option personally. But yeah, I think they kind of don't have to let go of the university push, but almost like even out pushing everything instead of mainly like college or university.
Question 7: whether or not you wanted it, you'll be a mentor one day for young women. Has that realization hit you yet? And is it something that excites you?
It's hit me a little bit. I know right now there is a girl co-op at my company on the job site I'm on, and she's asked me a bunch of questions just on my experience and stuff. So I'll tell her how this all went and like just how everything went for me. And it's kind of interesting to see, because I'm like, oh, okay, she's kind of not looking up to me necessarily, but like, she's asking for my opinion on what she should try and do with the exact same career, and like kind of learning from my experience and taking notes on my experience. So I think I've realized that a little bit. But it's definitely exciting to kind of think about that. I'll be a journeyman one day and teaching, young boys and girls. I think that's really neat.
I think you just touched on a really good point there that I didn't even think about. That as a woman in trades, you won't just be inspiring young women; you'll be inspiring young men as well. especially with all the changes that are happening to the apprenticeship system and everything
Yep.
these days. You'll be able to use your platform to reach both genders.
Yep.
Question one of the bonus round, Mazie. Your musical interests would indicate that you're an old soul. From Elton John to The Who to Pink Floyd. I'm wondering who turned you on to these legends.
My dad did. My dad used to work at a record store for 8 years. I don't know if you remember. Oh, what was it called? It was like Sam the Record Man.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was. He used to work there for a really long time. So he was always into music. So all the time at home, he just has a speaker going of all different music. And I really, really liked it from like a really young ages when I started hearing them. So I guess I just kind of grew up listening to them and like it better than the new music. So I just keep listening to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was my dad who really turned me on to the music. And, you know, he tries to take me to a lot of concerts. So I've been to a lot of, you know, really old, not really old, but I've been to seen a lot of the, you know, classic rock people,
Yep.
like all the legends and stuff like that. I've seen a good handful of them. So yeah, it was definitely my dad.
Who's been your favorite concert that you've seen?
Probably Prince.
Really?
Yeah, just because, you know, he's not alive anymore. So I think
Right.
it was a really good show, I guess, as well. But I think that's kind of like my biggest flex concert
Prince.
is Prince. You know, I think the first song he blew like confetti
Really?
everywhere, which is normally what you did at the end, but he did it on his first song. I think I was like, what, 6, 9 maybe, anywhere from 6 to 9 years old. So little me was like, oh my god, this is insane.
Just in love with it, right?
Yeah, I just loved it.
That's awesome. Question 2. You went out as Elvis for Halloween last year, jumpsuit and all.
Yeah, I did.
You can't go as Elvis in a jumpsuit for Halloween without having an accent or an impression to go with it. So can you give me your best impression of the king?
Uh-oh. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's the best. That's all I've got.
Hey, there you go. That's better than I would have done.
Thank you.
Question 3. Your parents almost named you Sam Wolfgang Reuter. How much different would your life have been with that kind of a handle?
I don't know. I have no idea. Originally, I was supposed to be a boy, I think.
Right.
So that was the name. And then they figured out I was a girl, and they were almost going to name me that as well.
Right.
I don't know what changed. I don't know how much different my life, you know, would have been because of that. I think the middle name's a bit interesting on their part. But I don't know. I feel like my friends probably would have made fun of my middle name.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a hard name, but middle name to live up to, that's
yeah,
for sure.
It 100% is. So I think my friends would have teased me about that for sure. But I don't know. I think it's kind of a cool name. But I don't mind mine. So
well, it's good that you don't mind your name.
Yeah,
I guess, right?
I don't totally hate it.
Question 4. You used to work at Metro in the seafood department. What was that like, and did you ever name the lobsters?
You know what? Metro was a good first like part-time job. I really liked my manager, and you know I worked with my best friend some of the time, so that was really fun. I did name the lobsters. I would pull them out of the tank and I'd give them names and I'd take pictures with them. I don't know why. It's just I got bored one day and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I just stuck with it. I think the entire year that I worked there.
Right.
So I have I think about like 80 photos with like 80 different lobsters, and they all have a different name. I don't know why I did it, but that was probably the best part of me working there. Was playing with the lobsters.
What was the most interesting name? What's the most memorable name that you gave a lobster? Does one stick out?
I don't know. I think Shaniqua, maybe.
Shaniqua?
Yeah, I think I named a lobster like Shaniqua or something. I gave them weird names. I tried to find so many weird names to name them.
Well, Shaniqua's quite an interesting name, that's for sure. Question 5 of the bonus round. There is a young lady watching today, right now. Tell her why a skilled trade is the right choice.
A skilled trade is the right choice, I definitely think, because I have fun at work. Like, I go to work and it's fun. Like, everyone I work with, it's like, I don't want to say they were all like class clowns, but they all kind of were. So it's like, it's funny. It's just upbeat. It's not like some serious job where I'm sitting at a computer screen all day, basically just staring straight forward. Like the environment's really good. Like 100% do it. And you know what? I got some muscle to me now. So, I didn't quite have to go to the gym. It's kind of like a free gym membership
Right.
almost. So that's another plus to it. And again, you feel kind of cool doing it too. Like I feel a little bit cool going to work.
Yeah.
But I like definitely 100% do it, and I'll be able to work on my house when I'm older.
Right.
I won't have to call an electrician, so that's kind of neat. Show up whoever I marry. Here we go. I can do this. You can't. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just little things like that. Like 100% do it.
There's not one singular reason why it's great to get into a skilled trade.
Yeah.
Right? I think you touched on many of them.
Yeah.
Sure, you've put on muscle, right?
Yeah,
you can do work around your house. You meet other people in the trades.
Oh, 100%.
You make those connections. There's endless opportunities.
Yep.
Especially as a woman in trades, you'll see as you progress that you'll have opportunities to be a mentor or to be an advocate and things like that, which are great, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just really fun, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's a fun job.
It is. It's a laid back. It's fun.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's fun.
Yeah. I'm sure this is a question that you've been asked several times already, but where do you see yourself in 20 years?
Oh gosh. At the moment, I'm not too sure because, like, again, there's endless possibilities on what I can do with the electrical license. One that really stuck out to me was going back to be a high school trades teacher. I kind of liked that option. I think maybe my schooling for like teachers college gets cut down by a bit. I think that would be cool, to teach young kids to be like, hey, I was an electrician, like I'm gonna try and teach you like the trades, kind of teach them the options that maybe 20 years the high schools still aren't pushing the trades.
Right.
So maybe I could help push that more if I'm a teacher at that point. I've definitely thought about that. Thought about maybe going into like a management position at like a company. I don't know. Like there's so many options.
There definitely is.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank Mazie for stopping by the show today to talk about her experience as a woman in skilled trades. I think she's a heck of a representative of the young generation of women that are coming into the trades right now, and she's going to be a hell of an advocate one day. And I thought it was quite fitting as March 8th is International Women's Day. So thank you very much, Mazie, for stopping by the show today. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me. I totally appreciate it. It was definitely fun. And remember, start hungry and stay handy.
Catch you in the next one.